Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God. Well, chapter 337, season 2, episode 257. Now, this is quite late. This is hopefully going up Thursday. Well, I recorded it on Tuesday to post it on Tuesday as normal. And I also recorded some other stuff on Tuesday, and all of that went to shit because when I went back, just real quick before I start getting into the actual review, when I went back, I had recorded like an 18-20 minute review of this, discussing everything because there's a lot to discuss, especially with the blog this week, and there was no audio for no reason. Even my software said the audio was fine and there wasn't any. So yeah, I'm gonna have to re-record this. And then I was going to re-record it, of course, Wednesday, since it wasn't up Tuesday, but then Wednesday jump leaked early, so I had 2 videos to do that day, and I was like, I don't want to rush it or anything, since it was 18 to 20 minutes, I want to take my time and discuss it. And here we are. We're here Thursday. So hopefully this will be up Thursday. And let's go ahead and talk about this part by part. I've wasted enough time with that. I just thought you guys deserved an explanation. But either way, let's talk about it starting from the beginning before I get distracted anymore. We start off with Evan and Garam, and Garam says that Gustang helped the Grand family and completed the spell to preserve the thorn, and that pretty much everything is all according to Keikaku. Everything is a plan with them, and to not think about it too much because you'll feel helpless. So I'm wondering if everything that they've done that led them to this point was part of the plan, or if it's just a happy coincidence. I mean, it doesn't seem like he could have planned most of it. I guess that's what makes it seem hopeless or make you seem small when you think about it, but I don't know. I think that that might be hyping up Gustang. Like, Gustang is amazing and hype, but saying that this was all sort of his plan may be going a little bit too far here. Either way, then we have a cool full body panel of Gustang, actually. I really like that, and I said it in the reaction, I believe. Even though he looks pretty much nearly the same as he did when we first saw him during the workshop battle, there's just something different here. I think it's the way his hair is drawn, but also he has that sort of coat over the suit he was wearing when we first saw him. But either way, I think he looks better. I think his design looks better now than it did when we first saw him. So I think that's probably even just the improvement in CU's art, constantly improving over time. But I do think Gustang looks better now. So we see that Joaquin recognizes him, and he says that Joaquin is paid the price for his theft. Then we cut over to Rian and Yurik, who don't find the Slayer duo on the FUG path. Yuri's group is still heading towards the exit. We see that Joaquin is trapped in the spirit room by the curse. Gustang lectures him about how it's impossible to surpass his father, which, again, I think it's interesting. I think Joaquin's character getting a lot more development here, and overall, whether it's as a bad guy, or I guess he still is a bad guy now, but he isn't like the main bad guy. He isn't like, I don't know, there's bigger fish in this pond right now. But either way, I really like Joaquin's character and what CU does with him. CU puts a lot into the character, and even gets more into that in the blog. So Joaquin fights to escape, but simply can't. It was a really good scene with really good art there. Then Gustang pulls the souls back out of him, spares him, says he can go or whatever, which seems a tiny bit odd given that he's an FUG Slayer, even if he's powerless. And that kind of brings into question what's going to happen with Joaquin and Karaka in general, because, Joaquin and Karaka, they are in a place now with an irregular who is also part of Walhaixong, with Bomb's group, who has obvious reason to not like them, with with Yuri, who is the princess of Zahard, and still loyal to Zahard? ? I mean, she has her affiliations with Walhaixong, but Yuri still seems legal, all on the up and up and all that. And also, a 10 family head. Lots of people with reason to want 2 Slayer candidates dead or captured, or actual Slayers, technically, I suppose. More of a candidate on Joaquin's side of things, but with Karaka an actual Slayer. Of course, if they killed the little floaty head version of Karaka, would he just respawn somewhere? Karaka just has abilities coming out of his ass. That's something I remember saying the first time that I recorded, was Karaka just has abilities everywhere, so who knows if they even could kill him right now. But yeah, getting back to where things were going, Yurik warps there via spatial distortion. I'm glad that they showed him using this. I think it's interesting, and I think it shows how strong his character is. Gustang even brings up it could kill everybody there if used wrong. But I remember the story from the lore or whatever about while Haku being started, that he took Byakuyan's forest, compressed it, and then brought it compressed to the 77th floor, wherever their whichever floor is their headquarters. I believe it's the 77th, and then put the forest there. So I think that compression, or whatever he did to move the forest, I think this compression and the spatial distortion work in similar ways. It's just that like the compression that they use that Rack uses and everything, except this is like at such a high level that he can just warp space to move himself to a different point. At least that's how I see it. So I think the two are a related Shinsu technique. So Yurik tells Gustang to release the souls because his friend's in there. Gustang says that Mazano's only equals are the family heads in Zahard. Kinda hitting us over the head with that exposition there, but okay, Gustang. Then he says that while Haku is just a game and a deception. And I'm thinking that maybe that's right, maybe that's arrogance. I think it's half and half. I think that maybe as we see Gustang more, we will see that as a 10 family head, he's a little bit overconfident because of the immortality, as an immortal likely would be, like we saw it with Eljo and his people, that they were overconfident because of their immortality. And even there are levels to immortality, and Gustang is even more immortal. So I do think that he has even more reason to be a bit arrogant about it. And the reason I'm saying that is because when it comes to the rankings, there are people up there like Byakuyan, I already mentioned, or Grace Merche Luzlek, or the princesses like Adori or Eurasia N, who are really, really highly ranked, higher ranked than some of the 10 family heads. So when he says that people can't stand with them to a point, I'm not sure he means just strength. Maybe there are people stronger, but the people stronger couldn't kill them anyway. They can't really stand with them anyway, because even if they're stronger, then so what? They're not a 10 family head. They don't have sway and power over people, but also they don't have immortality. So I think it's more of a question of how special they are, to use sort of that generic word, rather than how strong they are. But arrogance may play a part into that. He may be underestimating some other people, like FUG and Haku. Then Gustang agrees to release the souls because he doesn't want Yurik bothering his family, which is pretty reasonable. Then Team Yuri finally shows up. Gustang says there's another worthy of standing with him, obviously referring to Bomb, and he wants Bomb to do him a favor. And I think that probably has something to do with N. Obviously, he's making plays against Zahard. He's kind of going rogue in a little bit of a way. But he came up with the whole princess system in the first place, so he's done some sketchy things, he's done some bad things. So what I'm thinking is the situation is probably something along the lines of, he's done sketchy and bad things, he's not the best person, but it didn't quite work out with him, given that his daughter was locked in a labyrinth by Zahard. So he's probably not Bomb's ally, he's probably not a good guy, but he does want to use Bomb to free his daughter. He does have feelings for his daughter and wants Bomb to save her. So I think that it's one of those things where he may be an ally, but he's not a good guy. And even then, his alliance is very one-sided. He's trying to more use Bomb to get what he wants and do things for himself. So then, at the very, very end, the part that is really confused me. Something else I brought up from the very beginning when I first recorded that I forgot to talk about here is this chapter was a chapter that it was so confusing because it was so full of half information. Half information. And it's like, if you ever been playing a game, you ever been reading something, you ever been watching something, where they give you something that moves the plot along, it answers questions, but it brings up like 3 more questions for the one that it answered. That's pretty much like what this chapter was. We kept getting scenes that would answer a question, would keep progressing the story. I thought the story progressed quite a lot here. We got through a lot. So we progressed the story and everything, but in the place of what we find out, we have so many questions. Like, say we find out Rack is still here now. Okay, Rack is still alive. Okay, Rack's alive. That's what we found out. What we don't know is, where is he? Who is he with? How is he alive? Why is he with them? His costume seems different, but he still seems to have the Mad Shocker. And may I say his costume looks a lot better now. I don't know. I just... It depends. Because Rack has had some good costumes, some not as good ones. But I think it's better for him to have this sort of tribal, more complex look. Or even like his robes from Volume 1 were really, really cool. So costumes like that I think work for Rack. Just there are different characters. Like Sachi has had a lot of cool designs because a lot of them have been complex. But there have been some less good ones. So I think that I hope Rack keeps wearing this new outfit for a bit because I think it looks cool. But yeah, he's apparently with some girl that's wearing a lot of leaves and flowers and stuff. No clue where. So yeah, let's talk about the blog. Blog is something I really wanted to talk about because when I read it, I was like really surprised at the amount of info that CU gave us. And especially stuff that was confirmed that I was really surprised it just got confirmed in the blog by CU. And it's pretty big, important stuff. So either way, talking about some stuff that he said, CU said that he wanted Joaquin to be written like, he wanted to make a character that was like a high ranker brought down within the level of rankers. So he has the mindset, the experiences of a high ranker, but when it comes to power levels, the power curve, he's brought down to Bomb's level. He's like a regular level right now. And I think that could be interesting, especially if he carries on with Rachel's team, or even if he makes the flop to Bomb's team at some point. I don't quite see that happening. I see him staying with Rachel's team, if anything, if he does continue on in the story, of course. But and I see him doing that. So yeah, I just think it's really interesting how he's written like that. And I think that CU's done such a good job with it. And it makes me think so much too. The series is so deep. This is another thing I talked about the first time I recorded that I wanted to bring up. I'm not sure where I brought it up last time. But you think we have all this stuff going on. We still don't know what's going on with the Civil War with the princesses, or what's up with the ring holders, like whatever Wangnan and Karaka are. We still know so little. We've only actually seen in the present story one of the 10 family heads. We've only had a flashback to Arie Hone. Like, we've seen so few of the princesses. There is so few of the slayers. We've barely seen anything, and to think we still have all of that still to go. The series is so complex right now with all the different stuff we have going on, and yet there's all of that we still don't know anything about. Like, even right now, we still don't know what happened to Quattro and what happened to Quattro and Chang, and where they took Elliot and Angel. So that's going to come into play into some point, and we still also, where the hell is Wang? There's something else I remember bringing up. Where the hell is Wangnan? Wangnan went into this bag, never to be seen again. Wangnan and Yura just missing in action for a long time now, it seems. So yeah, where the hell did Wangnan go during this? What are they going to do with Rachel? Like, wrapping up this arc, what are they going to do with Rachel? Like, Rachel killed Akraptor, and she's poisoned. I assume they're going to save her, but even if they save her, like, are they then going to want to kill her? There's a lot. Like, what's Hell Joe going to do? Is he going to actually stay on the floor of death, or is he going to leave? And if he leaves, is he going to leave with Bomb's group or with Walhike Song? There's just so much confusion right now. Not even talking about the Thorn stuff, but continuing on with the blog. Sorry, I'm getting a bit off topic. I'm just remembering things from the first time I recorded. But CU said that Joaquin sort of embodies the conflicts of the tower, in that, like, no matter how much he hates Hone, He's immortal. What's he gonna do? He's like this seemingly unsurpassable obstacle. And I get what he's saying, comparing it to the struggles of the tower, because the struggles of the tower, say you're like FUG, you're unhappy with Zahard and the Ten Families rule. What are you going to do about it? They're immortal. They're ruling over you, but the thing is, they're so immortal and powerful, there's nothing you can possibly do. So I like that. I like that Joaquin is almost sort of a reflection of the tower struggles, and that you want to take down this big oppressive force above you, but they're seemingly unsurpassable. CU also confirms that Slayers have a specific family head that's their target, slash Zahard, which a lot of people have been guessing, because we know that there are 11 Slayers. Not all the spots are filled, but there are 11 Slayer spots, one for each of the 10 family heads and one for Zahard. And a lot of people have guessed that each Slayer would have a specific one. And he also confirms, and again, confirming this just in the blog, that, of course, White, which Joaquin used to be, White's target was Ariehone, and Karaka's, the other one he confirms was Karaka's target is Zahard. Now, you can argue it makes sense, because Karaka's got the ring thing going on, whatever Wangnan has as well. So that makes sense that Karaka's going after Zahard, because he's got the ring thing or whatever, but I wasn't expecting it. I was really, really surprised. I thought either Grace Merche Luslek, because he's the leader, he's from the Grace family, all of this other stuff. I thought either Grace Merche Luslek would be the one that's going after Zahard, or it would be a spot open for Veal, for Bomb, when he becomes a full-on Slayer. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking they would be the one that would be matched up with Zahard. So it really surprised me that Karaka was the one matched up that was targeting Zahard. The blog also mentions that, says when Gustang mentions that Bomb could stand with him, he isn't talking about just power. And again, I kind of talked with that a little bit, where it's more, he's talking about how special, how different they are. It's not just power that he's talking about. Because irregulars are just kind of different in general. And then, of course, he brings up in the blog, Rak is back, but where is he? And that keys us in to know that where he is, like, since he's teasing us with that, where Rak is has got to be important. I don't know where, but it's got to be important. One thing I saw a lot of people bring up, actually, like, I saw one person bring it up in my comments, but I saw it a lot in other places, just reading stuff for Tower of God, other comment sections, like on the chapter, on the wiki and stuff. People were bringing up that they thought the girl would be Eurasia Blossom. And it seems out of nowhere. I don't see, I guess since we're seeing Popodal Gustang, that's why people maybe guessed it was Eurasia Blossom, but I don't see why it would be her at this junction of the story, especially when we're hearing very little about the Eurasia family specifically. We still haven't been told in the actual canon story what we've been told in the lore about them having the marriage ban with the Gustang or Popodal family, or anything else like that. So I don't think it would be Eurasia Blossom, especially given that Miss Ice Strawberry and Irudo and N all have pink hair, so I would assume that Eurasia Blossom has pink hair as well. Just my assumption. So yeah, anything else in the blog? Nope, that's it. So some general thoughts that I don't think I've gotten to yet. I thought it was a really, really, really good chapter. I thought there was so much info, but like a lot of it was half info, and the story moved along a lot, but still it brings up a lot more questions than answers. I like that we see Rak again, even though I wasn't quite expecting it yet this arc, and he's with a waifu too. Also I thought the blog was great. I can't really factor that into the score for the chapter, but holy crap, the blog was really informative this week. The art in the chapter, though, this week, very, very good, especially with the Joaquin scenes. I thought were really good. I've been liking the way he's been drawing Joaquin since the Soul Power-Up. So yeah, I'm really enjoying what's happening, but like I said, so much stuff I still want to know. Just like what's going to happen with characters just this arc. Of course, so many things past this arc I want to know, but just this arc. What are we going to do with Eljo? What are we going to do with Rachel? What are we going to do with Karaka and Joaquin? I mean, they're surrounded by people that probably have good reason to want them dead or captured. So just what happens to all these characters is something it gives me a lot of reason to want to keep reading every single week. It's in a good place writing-wise right now. And as a chapter as a whole, not going to be perfect. I kind of struggled a little bit with what I wanted to give it at first. It's not going to be perfect because it wasn't like huge. It wasn't that emotional or anything. But like I said, it was super, super informative and really well made. So struggling back and forth with wanting to give it more than a 9, but think a 9.5 is maybe going a little bit too far. I decided to give it a 9.25 spatial distortions out of 10. So yeah, 9.25 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Went a little bit over 20 minutes this time, but I did want to make sure that I got to everything and discussed everything with enough detail. So that's it. Like if you did like the video, and anything else you want to talk about, comment down there, and we can talk in the comments as well, and then the Haku and A, of course. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. Sorry this was late, but I already explained how that went. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. And if you want to talk there as well, we can. And if you do want to link to the Discord server as well, just ask and I can give you a link in the comments. That is it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.